So you bought solar, huh? Well, good for you. I'm glad to hear that you decided to make a green energy decision, and one that some also say is good for the environment. But if you have issues with your system, what can you anticipate the customer service experience to be like? Hello and welcome back to the Drone Quote YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sinue Montoya. The adoption rate of solar and battery systems is steadfast, with no signs of slowing down, despite efforts made by the utilities to curb these numbers. In today's video, we will discuss the customer service aspect of owning a solar panel system. If you need customer service for your solar panels, it's because something has gone wrong. But for you to notice that something is wrong, first you must be cognizant of system performance, which means monitoring. Everything regarding your system performance relies on you being aware of how things are going with your solar panels. And let me be clear about something. It doesn't matter if your solar installer promised you 24/7 monitoring and even backed it up with a performance guarantee. I say this because in my 10 years in the solar industry, I've yet to see a solar installer promptly notify a homeowner of a fault. And worse, I've not seen an installer fall on their sword when offering compensation to match the production guarantee. They've always had to be pushed. Adding insult to injury, the production guarantees offered by installers compensate you at a rate significantly lower than what you'll buy power back from the utility. I'd love for someone to prove me wrong on any of these points below in the comment section. I made another video highlighting some of these points, and you can see it above me here. The easiest way to monitor your system is to automate any notifications that may alert you to an issue. If you have an Enphase system, you're in luck because it's easy to automate notifications sent to your phone as a text or your inbox as an email. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Automation is a little bit harder if you own a SolarEdge system and it requires admin access. The chances of having admin access are slim to none, so you really are on your own if you have a SolarEdge system regarding automation. I'd suggest something like an Emporia energy monitoring system to supplement your solar monitoring because you can set usage alerts that would notify you if an increase in electricity results from a system failure. Now let's move into a scenario where you have identified an existing issue. Hopefully you didn't identify this issue via an eye-popping utility bill indicating that your usage has recently increased significantly. As the Ghostbusters would ask, who are you going to call? Believe it or not, sometimes people don't know who to call. That can be because the system is several years old or the homeowner may not have the contact information readily available for their installer. It may be that the installation company is defunct, or it may be that the homeowner bought the house with an existing solar panel system and has no information regarding the details, which is unfortunately not uncommon. If you notice an issue with your system, you would be best served by contacting the solar installer responsible for putting the solar panels on your roof and owning the warranty with you. Now, I hate to say this, but you shouldn't expect this to be an expedient process. A lot of this has to do with the fact that the installer is not getting paid to fix your issue. At best, they'll be reimbursed for the truck roll and diagnosing the issue, but it's not likely that they're going to be making any serious money with this endeavor. Not that that's your concern, but it may be your problem. This is especially true if you choose the lowest possible bid to save money. You see, most of the installer's revenue comes from selling and installing solar and battery components. Anything beyond that is a liability. If you play your cards right and chose a reputable company, you may have better luck, but that's not to say that you're out of the woods. Once you get in touch with the installer, and if they're giving you the time of day, you can anticipate they'll coordinate with the manufacturer responsible for the faulty equipment. This is where a second time delay occurs as the manufacturer processes the claim and ships the component for replacement. If the installer you chose is out of business, you'll face a steeper climb. Typically, you can isolate the issue from the monitoring if it's installed as part of your system. With the source of the issue identified, you would then start by reaching out to the manufacturer of said component. The manufacturer will then point you toward a company capable of servicing their equipment. If you cannot isolate the issue, I recommend searching your area for a solar panel repair and maintenance company. Be advised that you'll have to pay for the diagnosis and repairs out of pocket. If your issue is due to a faulty inverter, you should anticipate a turnaround of between 6 to 4 weeks to replace an inverter. Even if your installer can turn the repair around in the same week, they still have to wait on the manufacturer to ship a new component and then render service. Sometimes the issue you experience won't be covered by any kind of warranty, which may lessen your customer service experience. This happened to me in my last home when my son smashed a solar panel with a rock after I had made him a slingshot. In that case, I simply didn't bother calling anyone because I didn't want to pay for a service call or a new solar panel. So I just lived with it since the panel only lost about 15% of its output. So what can you do to preserve your customer experience? Besides keeping an eye on your system's performance, it would make your life easier to keep all of your solar documents in an easy to find location for you when you need customer service. Here I'll jump in and share something that DroneQuote does, which I wish was more common in the solar industry. With every single solar project we do, a homeowner receives a QR sticker that goes on their solar inverter or in the main service panel. There's no need to remember anything or worry about losing your solar documents because we store those records in our client's profile. If you need any information regarding your system, simply scan the QR code and log into your account. There you'll find information to address issues, answer questions about your system, or even initiate the sale or refinance of a house as it pertains to a solar loan. Another thing you could do is fight the temptation of choosing the lowest possible price and research the installer of your choice, specifically looking for reviews relative to after-purchase customer service. There's a reason why Tesla Solar has the dismal reviews it's earned. Solar is one of those things where you get what you pay for. Another thing you may want to consider is installing a system with redundancy, and by this I mean microinverters. I used to be a big proponent of SolarEdge early in my career because it is a slightly more efficient system, but then I started getting calls from previous clients whose single inverter went out, and that's never fun. At least with microinverters, if one fails, the rest of the system continues to perform. Listen folks, when the time comes that you have an issue with your solar panel system, and sure as I am brown, that time will come, you want to make sure you are prepared. Knowing what to expect regarding customer service will help soften the blow of having to purchase power from the utility. And I'll wrap up by saying that the number one thing that you can do to situate the best outcome is to keep an eye on your solar panel monitoring. Until next time, hasta la vista, baby.